Bold and beautiful early spoilers December 15th to 19th, Hope's wedding explodes in chaos and Sheila's wild spiral. Bold and the beautiful early weekly spoilers for December 15th through the 19th reveal Hope Logan's, Annika Noel, wedding drama and Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, spiraling. As we always do on early edition day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week and then we dive into what's ahead for next week. Bold and beautiful early spoilers, Sheila fuming and Taylor freaked out. On Wednesday, December 10th, we've got Sheila Carter very upset and barging in on Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, at her office. No appointment, not welcome there. Sheila wants to vent about Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, finally telling her that she's not invited to Hope Logan and Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton's wedding. You could tell that Deacon didn't want to tell his wife that, but when Sheila started talking about picking out her dress, Deacon's like, oh crap, I've got to tell her. He knew he had to tell her, he just didn't want to. And who could blame him? Sheila is obviously outraged. She thinks based on the fact that she's Deacon's wife, she is entitled to go to that wedding. I've seen some debate on Soap's social media about this, with some people saying that her being Deacon's wife absolutely should get her a ticket to those nuptials, but I disagree. I think it's kind of presumptuous. Sheila did try and save Liam and Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, from Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, but then she turned around and helped hide her when she came back from the dead. So, any goodwill she earned is gone. BNB spoilers, Taylor warned Sheila. Sheila has wreaked havoc in the lives of the Forresters for decades. And she's been trouble for the Spencers and the Logans. She has shot the mother of the bride. So no, I don't think she gets an automatic invite. She's venting and Taylor Hayes tells Sheila, do not go over there and crash that wedding. I think she might ignore Taylor's warning and do what she wants. Of course, if she does, Deacon will absolutely flip out. Taylor Hayes tells Sheila that if she crashes Hope and Liam's wedding, that would just be crazy. That word sets Sheila off, and she demands to know if Taylor thinks she's crazy. The good thing is Sheila is consulting a professional. So, if anybody can diagnose what's going on in Psycho Sheila's head, I think Taylor's a good choice. Hope and Liam's wedding kicks off with family and drama on Bold and the Beautiful. Liam and Hope's big wedding event kicks off and it's going to last for 3 episodes, but they're not walking down the aisle until Thursday. So, it's going to consume the whole rest of this week. Deacon is going to be there solo, obviously doing his father of the bride thing while Sheila is over there pouting and raging, and Taylor just wants her to leave. Douglas Forrester, Henry Joseph Samary, is home for Hope's wedding, and I'm very interested to see if Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, brought him and if we get a glimpse of Matthew Atkinson. We know that he is back in December, but we don't have confirmed air dates for Thomas yet. You may recall also the last time Hope married Liam, which was the infamous t-shirt wedding, I think of like 2020, little Douglas was the officiant and Beth was just a baby. Beth rocks the wedding on BNB. For anybody complaining that Beth is officiating, that seems to be Hope and Liam's thing now, letting kids officiate the wedding. So I think Beth is going to do a good job. Annika Noel said in an interview that the Beth actress did a fantastic job, that she had pages and pages of dialogue and knew it all and was right on point. We've also got little Kelly Spencer, Sophia Pars McKinley, back and of course Douglas. So 3 kids will be there. Hope's getting ready to walk down the aisle and her mom and her aunts are there to get her all ready to go. We've got Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, Donna Logan, Jennifer Garais, and Katie Logan, Heather Tom, there. Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, is on hand for the wedding, but it looks like both Ridge Forrester, Torsten Kay, and Eric Forrester, John McCook, stayed back. Beth is going to welcome all the guests to the wedding of the year. And I do agree this is the wedding of the year on Bold and the Beautiful. The last wedding we had was Ridge and Brooke with the one witness as the stapler in the CEO office. Kelly's going to be there for her dad's wedding. And they've got onion rings on the menu for the reception, which is terribly cute. Also, what happens when an elementary schooler is planning your wedding, but it definitely sounds yummy. A fresh start, Hope and Liam say I do on Bold and the Beautiful. On Thursday, December 11th, we got Hope walking down the aisle. She is so excited to be marrying Liam again. I've been on the fence about this Lope wedding because of the way things were and the way that Liam has treated her for so long, you know, his divided heart, his waffling ways, all that. But I feel like they're at a point where he actually has changed. What's very interesting, I don't know if you saw this interview, but Scott Clifton said that Liam was supposed to be killed off. That fake cancer thing was not a fake cancer story to start with. Brad Bell brought him in his office and said that Liam was getting cancer and they were going to kill him off, and then they changed their mind. So, this is kind of very interesting. I do feel like they're giving the character a fresh start. Hope reunited with Douglas. Hope is very excited that her son Douglas is there with them. Deacon's getting to walk Hope down the aisle. This is a dream come true. He could not be a more proud dad. Bill and Brooke each make speeches. Liam and Hope do their vows, exchange rings. It looks like the wedding itself is going to go off without a hitch. Part of that is probably because Sheila is still over at Taylor's office. And she's trying to get Sheila to see reason and keeps telling her not only can she not go to the wedding, but Sheila can't keep showing up there at her office. They're not friends and they can't be because Taylor is Deacon's therapist. And of course, you know, Sheila shot her and left her for dead years ago, so that's a little awkward, too. Ridge talks to Eric and reassures him that he respects him and that all of his success is also Eric's success. Wedding reception drama and spoilers for BNB next week. On Friday, December 12th, we've got Hope Logan and Liam Spencer's wedding reception kicking off. The newlyweds are being celebrated. I do wonder if there's going to be some reception drama and maybe Sheila shows up for some cake. Maybe she'll try to tell Deacon, yeah, but I'm not at the wedding. I'm at the reception. Is she going to try and loophole her way into this? I hope she stays away for their sanity. But honestly, for pure soap value, I cannot wait. And I really hope that Sheila does show up and we get some reception drama. The week of December 15th through the 19th, by the way, Douglas is gone by then. Henry Joseph Samory is only back for 3 episodes, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week. So again, we'll have to see if Thomas dropped him off and is picking him back up or if we're going to have to wait for Christmas to see Matthew Atkinson's episodes. Hope and Liam are ready to start the next chapter of their life now that they are man and wife. This is, I believe, gosh, is it their 4th legal wedding and their 9th attempted wedding? They have a lot of practice at this, but they have another shot at love and being together as a family. I do wonder if they're going to add to their family now that they're hitched. Forrester family tensions and future storylines on Bold and the Beautiful. Ridge and Eric's tension continues to simmer in the following week. Ridge didn't mean to, but he really hurt Eric. And now he's really thinking about what he wants to do with the rest of his life. Eric knows he doesn't have decades left to live, but he has life left in him yet. Sheila and Deacon are struggling. Sheila is still very hurt by this whole not invited to the wedding debacle. Steffi's really bothered by Eric's forced retirement. Katie's going to come to a decision about her future. Taylor's going to counsel Deacon, who's going to show up at therapy to discuss how salty Sheila is over the wedding. And Eric is going to contemplate his future and whether he will accept retirement or not. By the way, back in August, Brad Bell did an interview teasing an upcoming plot that included a rival fashion house. That was back in the summer. And at the time, this Eric thing wasn't on anybody's radar. So, the question was, is it going to be Marone or Spectra? And then that interview kind of fell off my mental back burner, but I went back and reread it today because I thought about it. So, it seems like it's going to be Forrester versus Forrester, and I cannot wait. The fuse for this week of chaos was lit when Deacon Sharp, under pressure from an understandably apprehensive Hope and Liam, influenced by Little Beth's bad vibes, had to deliver the ultimate snub. Sheila Carter is not invited to the wedding. For Sheila, who has genuinely tried to use her marriage to Deacon as a stepping stone toward redemption and inclusion, this exclusion is a devastating public rejection. It's a painful reminder that no matter how many heroic acts she performs, even saving Steffi's life in a previous storyline, the Forresters and Logans will never let her into their exclusive, protected world. The snub, Sheila's hopes of being accepted as Deacon's wife and a part of Hope's life are brutally crushed. The insult is profound, reopening old wounds and confirming her worst fears about her place in the world. The scramble, the early part of the week, preceding the full explosion, sees Sheila desperately seeking validation. She storms into Dr. Taylor Hayes's office, not for therapy, but to vent a terrifying, raw rage. Taylor, wearing her therapist's hat and her family protector hat, issues a stern warning: do not crash the wedding. But Taylor knows, and viewers know, that telling Sheila not to do something is often the surest way to guarantee she does. The wild spiral, with her tenuous peace shattered and her husband not fully fighting for her inclusion, Sheila begins a dangerous, unchecked emotional spiral. Her need to prove her legitimacy and exact revenge for the perceived slight becomes a consuming mania. Spoilers confirm a wild spiral that promises a return to the unpredictable, classic villainy fans both fear and crave. Collision: the altar erupts, Hope's dream shattered. Hope and Liam's wedding day arrives as a beacon of joy, a familiar respite from the drama that constantly engulfs their lives. Beth, their daughter, is set to officiate, adding a heartwarming layer of familial love to the occasion. The ceremony begins smoothly, Hope is radiant, Deacon walks her down the aisle with pride, Bill and Brooke offer their customary heartfelt, yet drama-tinged, speeches. Vows are exchanged. Rings are slipped on. The I-dos are spoken. But the joy is fleeting. The real tragedy is slated for the wedding reception, the week of December 15th to 19th, which promises a descent into genuine pandemonium. Spoilers are crystal clear: the event explodes in chaos. While Sheila's presence is the most likely source of the explosion, arriving uninvited, perhaps armed with a truth bomb or an actual threat, the chaos is magnified by the already simmering Forrester family conflict. A ruined celebration. As the reception gets underway, the party atmosphere is ripped apart by an unexpected guest or a shocking revelation. All signs point to Sheila ignoring Taylor's warning and making a disastrous entrance. Deacon's nightmare. Deacon's world collapses as his wife's actions, driven by the very exclusion he tried to soften, ruin his daughter's special day. His already strained marriage to Sheila will likely hit a catastrophic breaking point, as the protective father in him clashes with the man who tried to love the unlovable. Spoilers suggest he will dump her and run straight to Taylor, blurring the lines of their professional relationship and signaling a potential, shocking new romance. Hope's despair. This explosion doesn't just halt the party, it taints the vows, the memory, and the very foundation of her renewed commitment to Liam. The emotional cost of this wedding is higher than any Hope has ever paid, leaving her devastated and exposed. Classical building: the Forrester legacy, a battle for the throne. Adding a heavy layer of familial tragedy to the wedding drama is the devastating conflict between Eric and Ridge Forrester. The wedding is not an escape from their power struggle, it is a forced gathering where the tension is palpable, threatening to shatter the venerable Forrester Creations dynasty. Forced retirement fallout. Ridge's forced retirement of his father, Eric, has created a deep, painful rift. Eric feels disrespected, cast aside, and fundamentally misunderstood by the son he groomed to succeed him. Ridge, for his part, insists he was only looking out for Eric's health, but his heavy-handed approach has backfired spectacularly. Brooke's guilt. Brooke Logan, who initially backed Ridge's plan, begins the week questioning her husband, asking if he regrets his actions now that the family is splintered and Eric is so visibly hurt and listless. A crisis of purpose. Donna Logan Forrester is overcome with fear that Eric, stripped of his creative purpose and role at the company, will lose his will to live. This fear adds a serious, sobering note to the week's high-stakes drama. This conflict hints at a larger, looming storyline about a rival fashion house and an all-out creative war, with Eric potentially setting out on his own to prove he is far from out to pasture. A Deacon-Taylor connection, with Deacon utterly distraught over Sheila's actions and the potential destruction of his relationship with Hope, he will turn to Taylor. Their sessions will become intensely personal, hinting at an unexpected romantic bond forming in the wake of Sheila's chaos. This is a pairing that could set up a massive future rivalry between Taylor and Sheila, raising the stakes even further. Katie's new path. Amidst the family mayhem, Katie Logan grapples with her own life-changing decision: Bill Spencer's offer to join Spencer Publications. Her choice could create a major shakeup in the LA business world and signal a powerful new era for the Logan sister. The unstoppable lunatic, Sheila Carter, is now fully unhinged. Her wild spiral, triggered by the wedding snub, means the terror is far from over. This is Sheila at her most dangerous, the woman who has nothing left to lose. What will she do next? Who will she target? The post-wedding episodes confirm that Los Angeles must brace for Sheila's next devastating move. Bold and the Beautiful is shaping up to be a true heartbreaker, a tapestry woven with the thread of pure, unadulterated tension, and today's news is especially devastating for fans of the show's intricate dynamics. The early spoilers confirm an explosive showdown between two of daytime's most iconic, yet dramatically opposed, characters, Dr. Taylor Hayes and the infamous Sheila Carter. The confrontation, steeped in betrayal, professional boundaries, and the looming shadow of one woman's volatile jealousy, culminates in Sheila fuming and Taylor freaked out, setting the stage for a truly sad and dangerous chapter in Los Angeles. The uninvited guest and the final warning. The emotional core of the week centers around the long-awaited wedding of Hope Logan and Liam Spencer. For any soap opera, a wedding is meant to be a moment of joy, but for the Forresters and Logans, it's a ticking time bomb, and Sheila Carter is holding the match. The heartbreaking news for Sheila is delivered by her husband, Deacon Sharp. She is unequivocally not invited to the nuptials. This exclusion, a painful reminder of her past crimes and the ever-present danger she poses to her granddaughter, Beth, and the rest of the family, sends her spiraling. Deacon, caught between his desire for a peaceful future with Hope and his commitment to his complicated wife, has to be the bearer of this sad, but necessary, rejection. In a moment of desperation, exclusion, and pure, concentrated fury, a fuming Sheila seeks out the one person she believes might understand, or, perhaps more accurately, the one person she can try to intimidate, Dr. Taylor Hayes. Police Carlight, the freaked-out therapist, Taylor's dangerous stance. Taylor, who is currently serving as Deacon's professional therapist as he navigates his toxic relationship with Sheila, is dragged into the heart of the drama. The news that sends a genuine chill down Taylor's spine is when Sheila, blinded by her rage and rejection, starts contemplating the unthinkable, crashing Hope and Liam's wedding. Longtime viewers know Sheila has crashed a wedding before. She famously revealed herself to be Finn's birth mother at his own wedding to Steffi, and the consequences were catastrophic. Taylor's reaction is swift, professional, and ultimately, deeply unsettling. She warns Sheila against the crazy thing to do, trying to de-escalate the volatile situation. However, the emotional stakes are raised to an almost unbearable pitch on the day of the wedding itself. During a fraught confrontation, Taylor is forced to lay down a definitive, professional boundary that seals the fate of their fragile truce. She bluntly informs a stunned Sheila that they cannot be friends because of her role as Deacon's therapist. This isn't just about the wedding, it's Taylor choosing her ethical duty and her own well-being over placating a known monster. For a woman like Sheila, who desperately craves acceptance and family, this professional rejection from the one person she recently showed shocking gratitude to for helping save her marriage, ironically, is the ultimate slap in the face. Sheila is left utterly fuming. The loss of a perceived ally, coupled with the wedding snub, pushes her over the edge. The dangerous dance of Deacon and Taylor. The underlying cause of Sheila's devastating jealousy is the burgeoning and deeply problematic connection between Deacon and Taylor. The initial spoilers hinted at their bond, which began as strictly professional, quickly evolving. Deacon, wrestling with the aftermath of Sheila's past lies and his own emotional baggage, has found a confidant and an unexpected source of emotional support in the compassionate psychiatrist. Spoilers have already shown them sharing intimate moments, including a slow, romantic dance at Il Giardino, and Deacon has confessed his feelings for her. This is the truly sad news for Sheila. She is watching her husband fall for her sworn enemy, the very woman whose life she has repeatedly ruined. For Sheila, the realization that Taylor, a woman she sees as a rival for both Ridge and Deacon's attention, is winning her husband's heart through professional therapy is a profound and deeply personal humiliation. Her fury will be a sight to behold. For Taylor, she is deeply freaked out because she knows Sheila's history. This is not just a rival wife, this is a woman who has shot her, held her family hostage, and whose violence knows no bounds. Taylor is caught between her growing, undeniable feelings for Deacon and the very real danger that Sheila represents. The sad fallout and looming consequences. The confluence of events, Hope and Liam's wedding, Eric's heartbreaking forced retirement, and the explosive Taylor/Sheila confrontation, makes this one of the most volatile weeks in recent memory. This is not a simple catfight, it is a deadly serious game of brinkmanship that has viewers genuinely worried. The spoilers clearly tease a terrifying possibility. Taylor's warning against crashing the wedding may anger Sheila enough to consider harming Taylor. The weight of this sad news is clear. A ruined wedding. If Sheila acts on her rage, Hope and Liam's wedding, a day of joy for the family, could turn into another scene of terror and tragedy. A professional crisis. Taylor's involvement with Deacon, now exposed and challenged, puts her career and her standing in the community at serious risk. A renewed rivalry. The old, violent rivalry between Taylor and Sheila is officially reignited, and with Sheila having nothing left to lose, this confrontation is more dangerous than ever before. The atmosphere in Los Angeles is not one of romance and celebration, but of looming dread. Taylor, whose past experiences with Sheila have taught her the cost of underestimating the villain, is now fighting for her safety and her patient's peace of mind. Sheila, rejected, fuming, and facing a life without the husband she thought she'd won, is teetering on the edge of her darkest impulses. Fans are left to wonder, will Sheila make it to the wedding? Will Taylor's professional code be enough to protect her? Or is this the beginning of a violent confrontation that leaves one of them seriously hurt, or worse? Today's very sad news is that the only certainty is that lives are about to be shattered. This is not a simple catfight, it is a deadly serious game of brinkmanship that has viewers genuinely worried. The spoilers clearly tease a terrifying possibility. Taylor's warning against crashing the wedding may anger Sheila enough to consider harming Taylor. The weight of this sad news is clear. A ruined wedding. If Sheila acts on her rage, Hope and Liam's wedding, a day of joy for the family, could turn into another scene of terror and tragedy. A professional crisis. Taylor's involvement with Deacon, now exposed and challenged, puts her career and her standing in the community at serious risk. A renewed rivalry. The old, violent rivalry between Taylor and Sheila is officially reignited, and with Sheila having nothing left to lose, this confrontation is more dangerous than ever before. The atmosphere in Los Angeles is not one of romance and celebration, but of looming dread. Taylor, whose past experiences with Sheila have taught her the cost of underestimating the villain. Fans are left to wonder, will Sheila make it to the wedding? Will Taylor's professional code be enough to protect her? Or is this the beginning of a violent confrontation that leaves one of them seriously hurt, or worse? Today's very sad news is that the only certainty is that lives are about to be shattered.